Hello and welcome to another tutorial. This time it's a special one because my opinion was requested about which plugins I use and which plugins I could recommend. I thought about it a little. What could I tell you? So I clustered my plugins into top 10 categories. And these categories are, let me see, the most frequently used, the most versatile, the plugins with the most character, best value for money, fastest workflow from start to result, the most innovative and inventive plugins, the most creative options the plugin has to offer, the best special processing plugins, best ease of use, and last but not least, my bundle recommendations for starters. So I will tell you which plugins fit into these categories at the moment. I say in the moment because also for me it's changing from week to week, from month to month, from project to project. So the plugins I will show you is just a current snapshot of what I use at the moment. Okay, let's start with the first category. Most frequently used. So the plugin I use most at the moment is, as you can see here, it's the Equalizer. I'm going to open it, and there are several reasons why I use it. It's very easy to use. Just let me copy my settings. So you've got 6 bands and you can move them around. They are all color-coded, and with the mouse wheel you can adjust the Q. You can also lock the frequencies. For example, if I press Shift key, then the frequency is locked and I can change the amplitude. And you can also choose between different filters, low shelf, high shelf, band passes, low passes, with different steepness from 12 dB per octave up to incredible 100 dB per octave. You can also choose a band pass filter and also a notch filter for filtering out obnoxious frequencies. So extremely versatile. You can also adjust these frequencies by using buttons. You can add harmonics. So for example, if you want to filter noise and hum, like this for example, then you can add harmonics to this. And all the overtones of these frequencies will also be filtered. So very, very useful, very unique in my opinion. Right. But there is more. You can freely adjust the size of the plugin. So this is extremely unique and very rare. You can also adjust the look and feel of the buttons using the settings. Just a moment. At the moment I'm using the knobs settings, but if you prefer sliders, no problem, then you've got sliders here. If you prefer buttons, then it will be buttons. And now let's switch back to knobs. So here we are. Oh, there seems to be a resize problem. Okay, now it's fitting again. Right, you can also zoom in and out of the window. What else? Yeah, let's run it.
Weg von uns, weg von hier. Du hast lang gekämpft.
You've got
Wolltest mit
analyzer.
mir sein. Doch du gingst wohin
freeze the
ich dir
analyzer.
nicht folgen kann.
There you can see the frequencies.
Jetzt bist du fort.
You can also activate a
Musst
sonogram.
Weg von mir. Weg von uns, weg von hier.
So it's an incredibly filled with features and functionality. I would say everything you wish from an equalizer is built in here, and it's extremely, I would say, cheap. Cheap is the wrong word. It's, I would say, the best bang for the buck. This equalizer is also included in the free bundle, meaning you get this equalizer for nothing. That's insane. And if you add another €30, you get the free bundle with additional features like resizing, and it's a really extreme bang for the buck, I would say. So, what's the second most frequently used plugin? It's Valhalla. Valhalla Room and Valhalla Vintage Burp. It's also very low priced, but offers a very high quality. So I think it costs €49, and you get a very, very well-sounding reverb. It sounds expensive, and you get a lot of options. And whenever I needed a reverb, at the end of the day, I always choose this one. Okay, the next is the Echoboy. So Echoboy is a very well-sounding delay plugin with sounds of options. So it's a really beast, and I don't think there is any delay sound in the world which is not reproducible by Echoboy. So incredible. It's not cheap, but it's really worth the price. Right. Most versatile. Well, Echoboy again, because you've got so many options. You can choose between different modes: single echo, dual echo, ping pong, and rhythm echo. Depending on the echoes you choose, you get the parameters you need for this. And if this is not enough, you can also tweak the parameters in detail, like for the ping pong, the accent width and left and right offset. And if you still feel that's not enough, then you can tweak the style, which influences the sound of the delay. You've got an input button output, and you can also adjust the saturation. In this case for a cheap tape model, and if you are still not satisfied, you can also tweak the models in extreme detail. So I think this is the ultimate delay monster. So what have we got next? Yeah, FatFill multiband. I also used it in the project. I showed it in one of my last tutorials for ducking the bass with a kick drum.
Jetzt bist du fort, musstest weg von mir, weg von uns.
It's extremely easy to use, I think a very clever workflow, and if you step into the band you get all your parameters you need. You can also adjust the sidechain in detail, you can adjust the knee, the look ahead. Everything you need from a compressor is offered here, and if you switch to another band, there you got it, and depending on which band you choose, you get always here automatically the parameters offered. You can connect the bands, you can cut them again, you can just add another bands and up to 6 bands, so it's a real beast. So the next plugins on most versatile, I would say in general all Melter plugins. So the Equalizer is just an example, so just go to the website, it's incredible what they have to offer. They are complex, they are not easy to learn, but if you like versatility, I think that's one of your best choices you can have. Right, next category, character, most character. Well, currently I think the plugin with the most character for me is the UAD Harrison EQ. It's a great EQ on vocals, on guitars, whatever you like. I love this EQ, it is easy to adjust, it always produces a good sound and also adds character to the sound. Right, so in this case, for example, I used it for the kick, but I also using for claps and for, wait a minute, for vocals, for example. Choose what you like, it's a all-round, well-sounding equalizer. So what's my next one? Yeah, it's the LA2A. I think I didn't use it on this project, but I will show you later. And the LA2A is well sounding, easy to adjust, and the plugins I recommend is either the LA2A, the new model from UAD, or you can also choose, if you don't own the UAD card, the LA2A from IK Multimedia. Great sounding plugins, both of them. Right. And the third plugin for most character, again, Echoboy. So if there isn't a character you cannot adjust with these options, then I think you've got a problem. Right, next category, best value for money. As I already told you, take the Melter free bundle and you have got lots of options and plugins, and it's, well, it costs nothing. The price is insane for the features. It's really insane. There is another bundle from Melter which costs money, and it's also worth the money. It's the Melter Creative bundle. Incredible. And last but not least, a quite new plugin, at least for me, it's iZotope Alloy 2. I haven't used it yet in my project because it's new for me, but I think it's an incredible bang for the buck. You get a whole channel strip with zillions of options and multiband and saturation and whatever you like, just in one channel strip. And I think it's very cleverly made. The graphical user interface is great, and we will have a look at it later. So, fifth category, fastest workflow from start to result. In order to show you this, I'm going to open another project. So here we are. So we are talking about fastest workflow from start to the result. And well, it's the LA2A. Just let me see where I used it. Okay, fastest workflow from start to the result. Let's start with a TRex plugins I use a lot. For example, this Equalizer. It's the linear phase equalizer, but it can also be run without linear phase mode, just as the normal equalizer. This equalizer is very well sounding. I use it often on the master boost for mastering, for subtle changes, and it's really great. Just try it. And I think I used it on several other tracks too. Just let me see. Maybe here. No. Right. Yeah, the TRex Classics are also great. I recommend the soft clipper and the classic compressor. I think I used it on the master bus. Yes, this is a great compressor. Not too many options, but what it does very well. You can adjust the sidechain in order to suppress pumping caused by low frequencies, attack release, just the normal controls. It's great sounding, and you've got also, which I use very often, this stereo enhancement knob. Okay, I also use the soft clipper. I hope I find it. I think it's here on the synth bass. Yeah, here we are. So the soft clipper is a great plug for limiting, for example, bass or even voice. And it has a very natural and warm character, but of course it has character. And if you want to limit signals and to make it in a well-sounding way, I would recommend the classic clipper. So that's for the category fastest workflow. And now most innovative and inventive plugins. I would say it's the DTF Meter plugin. I made a tutorial about this, so just watch this tutorial and you will see what I mean. And again, it's the FatFill, a multiband compressor, and iZotope LA2. Now, my next category is plugins with the most creative options. So, as I already mentioned, I would say it's the Melder Creative plugin bundle. So if you want to go wild with your imagination, just buy this plugin bundle, and there are no limits to your fantasy and ideas, I would say. So the next one is the FatFill Timeless. It's an extreme versatile delay plugin with zillions of options and modulations. Unfortunately, it's currently not on this project. Let me see. No. Right. And I would also say lots of options are offered by IK Multimedia Amplitude. So you've got lots of amps and cabinets and microphones and microphone positions, not only for guitars. So if you want to achieve special sound, you should try this one. There is also a free version with a limited number of models. Just try it and you will see what I mean. Right. So special processing. So there is a small plugin brand called Voxengo. I think it's a single Russian programmer, and he really makes great sounding plugins. And I'd like to show them to you. Maybe I will also find one of them also in this project. Ah, here it is. The first one is the Gliss EQ. So it's extremely versatile EQ. I think with up to, don't know, 6, 7, 8 bands. I haven't counted them yet. And it's also a dynamic EQ. So you can switch on a dynamic mode, and you also get your spectrum analyzed, and it has a great sound and lots of options. I did a video on the Gliss EQ I think a year ago, so just watch it, and really great. I can recommend it. Great sounding. It's also a good EQ for the master bus for mastering. So the next special processing plugin, it's the Warmifier, but this one I guess is on another project. So let us see. Yeah, this one. First of all, it's the so-called Warmifier. So what is this plugin actually doing? It's sounding like an analog summing amp, I would say. And you've got these crazy parameters, V param, I param, emphasis on low and high. I must admit, I can't really explain what it means. I think it has something to do with tubes. You have just to twiddle them and see how it sounds, and you put it on the master bus and you get a very special sound. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but for this song in this case it worked great on the master bus. So it's a recommendation to give your sound either on the master bus or maybe on a group bus or even a single track, a special sound. Just try it, and I think in 50% of the cases you will love it and leave it. So it's a secret weapon for making sound and adding special overtones and texture to your sound. So the next special processing plugin I recommend from Voxengo is the Voxformer. As you can see, I used it very often in this project, and it's a plugin, channel strip, I would say, specialized for voice, but you can also use it for other purposes. So it has a lot of options to offer. There is I guess it's a 6-band equalizer. You get all the monitoring options you need. You can also monitor the single sections of this channel strip, which are shown here. You've got 2 compressors. You can set these compressors in serial using a crossover filter. So you've got a 2-band multi-band compressor built into this plugin, or you can use them in parallel. So if this is switched off, they are working in parallel, and if you switch it on, if you switch it off, they are working in serial, and if you switch it on, they are working in parallel using several frequencies. And you can also adjust the behaviors of the 2 compressors. To make it easy, it's a very easy to use plugin. You've got modes, for example vocals, and it's just fire and forget. Just dial in the vocal mode, turn this wheel, and you're done. Then you've got a great working de-esser. You can add presets. It's a kind of exciter, and if this is not enough, you can also saturate the signal. So lots of options built into one plugin just for processing voice is really great. You're really fast. You don't have to fumble around with 6 plugins. It's all built in here, and it's great sounding. So for special processing on vocals, this is a secret weapon for me, and very fast. Right. Ease of use. Believe it or not, ease of use for me are the classics. It's the 1176, because you adjust your compression just using two knobs. There you get your ratio, attack and release time, and I think especially for beginners it's a great plugin because you are working very fast and you always get good results. So it's not easy to get a bad result out of this plugin. This is the UAD version, the bluey. There's also the blackie, the black one. You could also use the version from IK Multimedia if you don't own UAD, so they're both sounding great. Again, it's the LA2A for ease of use, so this is the IK Multimedia version of it. Even less knobs than the 1176. You have got a gain knob and a reduction knob, and that's it. You can choose between a limiter and compressor mode, and also for this plugin you will get a very nice compression very fast. So just for beginners, this is a recommendation from me regarding ease of use. There's still another compressor which is also very easy to use and very effective. Is the Renaissance compressor from Waves. So actually it's not only a compressor, it's also an expander. So if you crank the ratio down, you've got a compressing mode. If you crank it up, you've got an expander mode. You adjust the threshold gain, and that's it. And you can change the characteristics. And you also have got an automated release control, so you don't have to worry about your release time. And it's very, very often working fine. You just slam it on your track, and you're done in 5 minutes, I would say. Great. So I'm at the end of my tutorial. So what are my plugin recommendations for starters? So I got some questions on my YouTube videos. What would I personally, and this is a personal opinion, recommend? I would say the best all-rounder starter package for third-party plugins, of course, because you mustn't forget most DAWs today equipped with very good stock plugins. But for the starter packet, I would recommend the Deluxe bundle from IK Multimedia. It offers lots of great sounding plugins, easy to use, a nice appealing graphical user interface, and maybe if you add the white, which is the LA2A, and the black, which is the 1117 from IK Multimedia, I think you have got 80% of what you need anyway. So another recommendation of me is the iZotope Alloy2 channel strip. I can't review it yet because I'm not using it on productive projects at the moment. I'm experimenting with it, but it has an incredible power. It's a complete channel strip equipped with, I would say, everything. Just for demonstration, I add it on a channel. So you've got an equalizer, a transient shaper with multi-pen mode, so you can adjust your transients for the lows, highs, mids, and for the highs. You've got an exciter where you can choose between a tube, tape, retro, and warm saturation, distortion modes. You can drive them. You can mix them in parallel, and you can also do it in multiband. Then you've got two compressors, and both of them can be switched also to multiband mode, offering 3 bands of processing. You can adjust the bands, and you've got all the options you need for compressing, and incredible, you've got 2 of them. If you run it, then you will also see the waveform, the compression. Maybe just start the track, maybe we can see it.
I need something special.
Maybe I just slam it here for demonstration purposes.
To lift me up again. Give me sugar tonight.
Ah, come on. Sing. Here we are. So extremely versatile, great graphical display, and you also have got a great de-esser, you've got a limiter, and you can change the sequence of your plugins. So if you want to start, for example, with the exciter, with the saturation unit, then you do it. You can also, the dynamics are switched to serial mode. You can also run them in parallel, and so on and so on. Zillions of options, and what is great, last but not least, you get an overview. So there you can run it like a complete channel strip where you see everything you need in one view, and if you need the details, you switch to the buttons. You can always deactivate them. You can gain stage within the plugin using module gain. So if you switch to module gain, you can adjust the input gain of the several stages. And if you switch that off, you can adjust the overall input gain of the plugin. You can switch to zero latency if you don't want any latency. So what is left to be desired with this plugin, I don't know. I think you can make whole mixes with this plugin, add character and warmth and whatever you like. You can compress and equalize and don't know. So it's this plugin is a whole universe of possibilities, I would say. So I think great for starters, but of course you, as a starter, you need to know what these processors do. Right, yeah. How to finalize my top 10 plugins. So in the category plugin recommendation, I can again recommend the Melter plugins, the free bundle, the creative bundle, also the other plugins. They're absolutely great, versatile, lots of options. But I have to warn the beginners, the Melter plugins are made for functionality and not really for usability. So there is an easy mode for Melter plugins which offer you just 4 knobs, but they are complex. So for a starter it might be a bit overwhelming using these plugins, but I think it pays if you start working with them. So that's it for my top 10s. I hope it was helpful for you, and goodbye.